2 years ago, I was just 3D printing random objects. Most of them weren't mine or had any practical use. Inspired by this, I set myself a challenge to design something entirely from scratch using CAD software that would be both useful and unique. After countless hours of designing, I finally created and printed a camping lantern. But it wasn't your ordinary lantern. I wanted it to be fully 3D printed and assembled without the need for many fixings. One of its most unique features was a key switch to disable the power. However, it turned out to have a few flaws that ultimately affected one of the key features I wanted it to have: repairability. I wanted it to be easily repairable, so if a part broke, it could come apart and a new one could be printed. But due to the tight tolerances, this never really worked out. Despite these flaws, it still worked as a lantern, and it was my first major project with 3D printing, so I was happy with the outcome. To this day, it's been used for camping quite a bit, and it's had a few modifications here and there, but overall it hasn't had any significant issues. But recently, I had some inspiration to try and redesign it, so I sat down at my desk and started a new design for it, and a few days later, I had printed my first prototype piece. Which I instantly liked way more than the original design, because it was smaller and cleaner looking. But it still needed a bit of tweaking. A bit of tweaking later, and I ended up with my second prototype, which ultimately became the final design I chose. So after a few days, after all my parts had arrived and been printed, I assembled it and ended up with this. The final product. I can easily say that I'm extremely happy with how it turned out. The big question I'm sure you're all thinking about, and I bet it's what you're all wondering too, is what is the purpose of this video beyond sharing my creation? Well, so far, everyone I've shown this lantern to has said, I bet you could sell that. Initially, I thought no one would want to buy one, but then I decided to try promoting it online and see if it generates any interest. There's no harm in trying, I suppose. So here I am, trying to promote my lantern on social media in the best way I can think of. If you like the look of this, and would like your own, don't hesitate to contact me at the address shown on screen. If I receive enough interest, I may potentially start producing more of them. Thanks for watching.